Hello everybody, Dakian here with what I call a midweek ramble for you. I haven't done one of these in a while. What I mean by midweek is it's somewhere in between two Mondays, which is when I normally do my updates. But because I've finished the Getting the Let Out project, but I still have lots of free time because it's still summer, still school is out, I am making quite a lot of progress, and so I decided I might, for a while at least, update you twice a week. And there are no new finished models in this update. I've gotten a bit further with these Victorious for the avatar. I've pretty much finished the skin tones and the hair and the eyes and the lips. I think I might want to put some more color in the cheeks. I've done some work on the metallics and decided their shirts. She's wearing this one is wearing a vest, and this one has a complete jacket. Should be some sort of purple. Purple is a difficult color to work with. I might bring it up a bit more and then wash it to shade it down. Not sure. Progress is going slow on these girls because I'm of two minds about them. I'm conflicted because on the one hand, I very much like the idea of them. I like the ideas behind the models. The ideas of the poses and the equipment and the gear and everything. But some of the sculpting I'm not wild about. It has the kind of very intricate detail that's difficult to make out that I don't like. Like, take for example this Victoria, her pants on the back side here. There's a lot of creases, and some of them are obviously folds, wrinkles in the cloth of her pants, but others are probably straps holding these armor plates on the front in place. And it's very hard to see which is which. And that's what I mean by unclear detail. And there's a lot of models out there that have this, that tons and tons of intricate, finicky details that you don't know what it's supposed to represent exactly. Yeah, that always puts me off a bit, but I'm working on it piece by piece, bit by bit, and I will get this done eventually. But I also want to show you the progress I've started to make on all those Heresy and Harwood miniatures that I showed you this last Monday, and talk a little bit about new arrivals as well. So to begin with, here's a model that I'm resurrecting from mothballs. I've started painting this once before and put it away because I didn't have any inspiration. Now I'm gonna finish it off. I think partly because I don't have the wings here, but it's a succubus. It's kind of a female demon, and I've got a couple more of those. We'll take the ones that are primed first here. Here's one wearing armor. The next one, I should warn you, is a little bit not safe for work. We have some full frontal demonic nudity here, but I think that's okay. And we have some vampires. Now, this one had a selection of heads. I chose the one with a top hat and glasses and beard. I thought that was the coolest one. The others were, we have a Nosferatu head, and we have, well, the pretty boy head. I call it the Strahd von Zarovich head. I was thinking of going with this one, but then I've got at least one other miniature, possibly 2 or 3, that could be Strahd. I don't need even more. I thought I'd do a slightly different take on the vampire with this one. So, more for my bits box. And oh, and this is a vampire in a kind of man-bat form. It's been I don't know if it's partially transformed into a bat or if this is some sort of transitionary shape that it can hold. But it's a very cool model. It's a very active, dynamic pose, and yeah, I don't know what to say other than cool. I really like it. We have some ladies here. Now now we get to everything I've shown you up until now. Let's see. This is from North Star. The remainder are from Heresy, but these are from Harwood. Ellie and Evil Ellie. Some villagers before and after. This is also Harwood. This is the Gypsy Adriana. Not yet primed. I need to do some more work on the base here. And let's see. Oh, coming back to Heresy, this guy has simply been to a base. He has a staff of sorts, and then he also has a choice of heads. Now, there's three. There's one with horns, and one kind of normal looking one with hair, and one bald guy with a mask. And this one in the middle has a hat that goes with it. So yeah, you know which one I'm going to use. I'm going to use this middle one because hats are cool. And let's see, what's, oh yes, the leaping lurkers. I started by basing these. They need heads and arms attached, which are separate. The arms, there's only 4 arms, so that'll be it. For the heads, we have 4 options for 2 miniatures, so I'm gonna have to choose 2 of them. And oh yes, we have 2 other lurkers. These ones are not leaping, they're crouching. Now these were more complex builds. I don't know if you can see where the join are. I tried to hide it with some putty. The left legs are separate, were attached and gap filled, and the heads have been also attached. In this case, I also had 4 choices, and I've chosen 2 of them. And yeah, I'm not sure if I need to do more gap filling, but then I'm going to attach the arms. There's some arms here. We'll fix that. And we have a couple of heads left over. And yeah, I'm gonna have to reset to show you the rest of the models. Oh, and quick retraction, this is not by North Star, this is West Wind Miniatures. Don't know why I got those mixed up. And she has some wings. And they're base coated in black. Maybe I want to make those a lighter color to contrast. The armor is going to be pretty dark. Well, we'll see. Now, these little things are also kind of weird builds. The body and the right side legs are one piece, and then the left side legs I've glued on, and a little bit of gap filling. I've done this for all 6 of them. Then there's wings. I don't know if you can see them. They come on sprues like this. A lot of them fell off from sprues in the packaging. And there's 4 wings. 1, 2, 3, 4 on each. And they're quite tricky to paint. You can see the hole here, which is the attachment point for a flying stand. The problem is, if I attach something there, even if it's just a temporary holder, then it's going to be very hard to get at painting the bottom, the inside portions here. So I think what I'm going to have to do is prime it by hand and then just paint this inside portion and then attach it to something and paint the outside. And I'm not sure if I'm going to attach the wings beforehand or if I'm going to paint the wings separately and then attach them. We'll see which turns out to be the most efficient. And here we have a selection of bases that I've stamped. And I'm going to prime and paint these. For some of the models, of course, as you have seen, have been pinned into their feet, and so they will be attached to bases after painting. Yeah, a little crumbly. And yeah, that's it for stuff that is currently in prep. What I want to do next is a kind of combination unboxing of new arrivals and a peek into the next portion of this Ravenloft project. So we have a box here which, as you'll see, is full of Reaper miniatures. Now these were actually not bought from Reaper, they were bought from an English retailer, simply because I've lately been taking advantage of the precipitous drop of the pound as a result of the Brexit vote, and you know, made a bunch of orders from UK stores and manufacturers. Some of them even have not just a cheap currency, but they also have compounded this by having sales, which is kind of like catnip to me. I have a hard time resisting it, so that means my numbers of minis purchased are unfortunately going to rise again. Anyway, what we have here are, all these are undead. We have, let's see, a Guardian Wraith, and we have another guy with an empty hood. What's he's called? He's called Dexus the Ghost Lord. We have Vampire Spawn, of course. Strahd has a bunch of those. I might need to buy more packs of this, actually. I have multiples of this blister. M. Borley the Ghost. Well, ghosts are, of course, necessary. We have another ghost, a female one in this case, named Lurian. We have the Grave Wraith. Now, this one comes with a bunch of extra gravestones, and there's one actually cast into the miniature itself. I'm not sure I'm probably going to single base this and just have it as is. To have room for all these extra gravestones, I'd have to build a much bigger base, which I don't feel like I want to do. I don't want to make a diorama of this one. We'll see. We have just a couple of your average everyday zombies. A Hellhound. Again, this is very cool, and I might need more of it. We'll have to see if I... the Barrow Warden Lord, which is like, you know, a Barrow Wight from Lord of the Rings. We have some Undead Hounds. Nasty Zombie Hounds. We have a Barrow Warden Mystic. Now, both of these guys would, I think, in D&D terms, be wights, as in, because wights are actually corporeal undead, as opposed to wraiths. Most of the Grave Wraith is a wraith in D&D terms, as in it's an insubstantial undead, more spirit-like. And finally, we have Caspar von Monstein, or Monstein, Vampire. And this guy is what I think I want to use for Strahd himself, because he has all the attributes. He has the cape with the high collar, he's got the fancy decorations on the front of his shirt, he has the nice slick back hair, and the kind of frilly lace cuffs. He's a classical gothic vampire type. Yeah. So that was my haul of Reaper miniatures. I want to show you one more thing before we leave. This package here arrived this week as well, and it contains the final delivery of the final portion of my Dungeon Saga pledge. for the Dungeon Saga Kickstarter. I did not get the actual game itself. I just pledged for some of the minis, and I've taken delivery of most of them previously. The ones that remained were some that were connected to one of the expansion sets. Now, I did not get the basic plastic minis. I got the more expensive resin versions, and these are the Infernals. So you'll see they are, well, this guy kind of looks like some sort of undead. I'm not sure what all these are here, but this is clearly a demon of some sort with horns, and I think these are imps. This is the, I think it's the multiple-headed demon hound, sort of Cerberus version. Another imp, a big dude, one succubus, no wings. Yeah, right, the succubi don't have wings in Kings of War, because that would make the units very hard to rank up. So they just have hand weapons. And another demon with the head, and this I think is an Ifrit. That is small for an Ifrit in D&D terms, but oh well, I guess they can change shape. Now, these do not actually add to my current total of purchased minis, because I already included these last year. I used to track stuff by adding it to my purchase total when I paid for it, which means I actually have some Kickstarters that are in the numbers for 2015, but have not yet been delivered. So some stuff that is on its way to me, hopefully sometime this year, will actually not impact my numbers for this year. Well, sort of a blessing in disguise. But I've changed the way I do things. So stuff that I started backing starting in January this year, I only add to the purchase column when it actually arrives. And there is some of that that's going to show up as well at some point. But anyway, that was my midweek ramble. Just to bring you up to date, and so I don't have to make the Monday ramble 2 hours long. But I will see you on Monday again, and hopefully some of the stuff I showed you previously in this episode will be finished by then, or at least further along in its painting. So, see you Monday. Until then, I'm Dakiyan, and I'm signing off.